Okay, let's see. These these were on loan to other people, not just me, before I got them. Uh, some very well-known archaeologists, I think, have handled some of these in their research. So I'm not the first one to look at these. And yeah, Dusty was telling me that these were sitting on an examination table for a while. Let's see what was going on with these. All right, how am I going to do this? I am going to wait. Put these together. Yeah. Keep these together. Make sure I don't. Yeah, make sure I don't ungroup these. And then come back and do these as groups. I don't see. Oh, maybe I do see. Maybe I do see some thin ones in here. Just to get the excitement going. Sometimes, yeah. Some of these edges, I was fascinated by the first time Dusty showed them to me. As I have seen a lot of these before. The refinement on these edges is, I think, is pretty distinctive. Nice thinning flake from the base. See, I want to try to develop edges like this. Now, is this heat treated? Do you need heat treat to be able to do edges like this? No, you don't, because some raw stone, some of it is excellent quality. You can do a lot of good stuff with it. You can do good stuff with very poor quality stone, but it's a lot harder, and it doesn't really look the same as far as flake quality goes. But yeah, you can do it with raw stone. Yeah. But heat treat makes it so much easier to get it thin. This is thin, and I want to be able to get edges like this. And it looks like they did it with such ease because there's no pecking or little flakes. It's all just bold flakes, and it looks so easy to them. It looks like it was so easy. They make it look easy, even though there's a lot of steps and stuff. Yeah, but still. There's not a lot of fuss. There's a lot of smaller flakes, but it's not like a fussy type of situation. This side may be a little fussy, yeah. I gotta admit. But the thinness of that base, yeah. If this is resharpened, which it might be, during the resharpening, you get a lot of this step fracturing. And I know I might be making excuses for it, but you do get a lot of step fracturing on a resharpening, mainly because it's not done in mass production style where you're already in the groove and you're making a bunch of points and you can thin easily after you've been in the groove for a while. This is, on the fly resharpening. Sometimes it's in poor light conditions. You're out in the field, maybe you need to rehash or, I don't know, reuse some of your points. And not under optimal conditions for flint knapping. And you get step fracturing and what looks like amateurish flaking and blah, blah, blah. So the resharpening is usually not that good. Now, I don't know, is that a intentional thing there? What's going on with that? I don't know. Is that a heat pop? I can't tell. You know, heat pop and then used for something and then chipped during use. Like a little spoke shave or something. I don't know. Interesting piece. Yeah, we're starting to get into the thin ones. Beveling. Right? What does it say? Right hand bevel. RH bev, right hand bevel. So on the right side, when you look at it from the face with the base downward, right side bevel. Other side, yep, bevel. Now it doesn't have to be steep. It could be a long bevel. These are like long bevels. Yes, sir. Impact damage. Nice. Okay, so I'll keep these together. And I'll examine these one more time. Well, you'll see them again. Kevin, I'm trying to put these back in the bag. Oh, he got out of the main yard today. He can push his way out because I've got the back gate bungeed closed, so when the wind blows, it's got some flexibility. It broke the last latch because the wind keeps moving it. Look, I can see your big fat face right in the middle of the whole thing. Anyway, he got out, and the other dogs were barking like crazy. And I said, what the heck is going on back there? Yeah, he's outside, just outside the fence, teasing his brothers, just sitting there. You probably explored like for 2 hours on your own, sniffing around in other people's backyards, and then just stood waiting for me to let you back in, huh? Yeah. Teasing your brothers. They're all boys except for one. We have one girl. I have 7 dogs back here. One girl, and she's fixed, so they're not going to do anything. But they do bark a lot, and they're very territorial still. I tore apart this bag. Sorry about that, Dusty. Okay, so we got early archaic sequent flaking scrapers. All right, let's see what we got. Yes, day. Oh yeah, fine retouch on these end. I think these are edge scrapers. Right? There's end scrapers where you scrape with the end, and then there's edge scrapers where you scrape with the edges. These are also called margins, by the way, these outsides. All right, so yeah. What were they used for? Well, I use this kind of stuff for wood. I don't really process many hides, so as far as using it for hides, I can't give you much information. Although straight is better than curved. From what I've been doing when I work hides, I use a straight edge and a rounded beam. Okay, but they may be just dry scraping, which means you string up the hide wet, wait for it to dry, and then scrape it. That's dry scraping. I use a lot of wet scrape when I do it. So I use a straight tool with a rounded beam and scrape that way. But these appear to all be, I would say, dry scrapers, right? Hafted and unhafted. Some of these don't look like they would be hafted because they feel good in the hand. I can't imagine dry scraping all day with these though. And what kind of wood would I use? I mean, how would I use these on wood? I wouldn't use necessarily that edge on wood. I like thicker square edges on wood to scrape off bark when I'm preparing shafts, like forest shafts or arrow shafts or spear shafts. Now this one here, I think this is a specific type of tool with this look to it. I can't remember. I think it's in the big red book. Let's see. Oh, let me see. Let's take a bunch of time going through these flake tools in the back. All right, let's see. Guadalupe tool? No, I don't think that's a Guadalupe tool. What is it called? Let me see. Oh, here it is. Oh, it is called a sequent flake uniface. Okay. Well, there you go. What period? Early Archaic. And look at it. Looks so similar. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There it is. So yeah, sequent flake uniface. Early Archaic, though some examples occur in late Archaic. Oh well. Can't win them all. Let's see. But it's old. Some of them might be 8,500, 5,000 years ago. There you go. Okay. Sorry. Screenshot it. Read it. Hopefully it's in focus. Okay. Nice. Now, what did they use them for? I have no idea what they use these for. It's all wonky and it's not very clear. Although, maybe sawing. But, because it feels like it would be resistant to motion in my hand this way with that little dip in it. It resists this motion. So, if I saw with it, it's going to be very steady. Now, if I scrape with it, it'll move a lot. Right? It might be for scraping. I don't know. But to me, it's more comfortable for sawing. So, but I don't have any idea. Let's see. This one is a clear example, but the other ones just seem to be side scrapers, right? Oh, here's one. Now, how do they make these? Well, you do a goofus little scoop out percussion strike. Oops, scoop out this area with the first percussion strike, and you go, wait a second, I can make one of these sequent fingers and hit another flake right off of that scoop out and pop it off. And you have a nice little place where your thumb can go. And it's very comfortable. And you can use it for sawing, I would think. Yeah. That's what I would use it for. All right. How many things have I sawn with stone tools? Not very many, because it's very boring. This is a nice edge on this particular piece, and this is one of those sequent flake. Yeah, I would definitely use this to saw. You can saw antler, bone, and wood with these, or all three. Sometimes you can saw into sandstone and limestone, or steatite, or some other type of soft stone as well. You can use this to create incised designs, or create incised stones with this type of edge. So Got to keep that in mind too, I suppose. Nice little bit of a oops on this one. Straight. This edge is straight, so it could be used for various things, I think. All right. And yes, stone for scraping is good because it doesn't get soft like bone and maybe even shell or whatever. It starts to get soft with water, soft, quote unquote. It doesn't stay rigid. It doesn't stay effective. It kind of gets with bone or something like that. The edge gets what I consider to be soft with moisture. If it's under the conditions where you've got a lot of moisture, like a wet scrape on a hide, stone stands up to it the best. Okay. So yeah, having a stone source is good for certain operations, for sure. But you can't really get effective or efficient results with another type of material like bone, which many implements were made from bone back in the day. But stone is better for many applications in comparison to bone. Okay, I'll get off of that one. Let's see, Marshall. Nice. I gotta be careful because these a lot of times have delicate ears and delicate barbs. Okay. Oh yes. Ooh, heat damage. Now, are these found in burned rock middens? I think so, yes, but I don't think any of these particular ones are found in burned rock middens. They're just found in the campsite. As far as I know, Dusty has told me that these were found in just the campsite area at various levels, because this campsite was occupied for thousands of years. So they excavated these points. They're from different levels. Same site though, right? So if there's exotic material in here, it's not from the site. It's brought in, or people migrated through the area that had the stones that they collected somewhere else. All right, so yeah, see, this is a good example of seeing the shape of the tool for notching. Right there. Can't be any wider than that, right? Because it wouldn't make any sense. How do they do that with something wider than that? So that shows you the width of the tool. Same with this one here. These pop outs. Now, is this punch work or is it pressure work? I don't know. The simple answer is I don't know. I would tend to think a lot of this was punch work because of the big old pop outs, but if you are an experienced bison hunter, etc., you're going to be a strong person. You could pop these out with pressure. And why do I say an experienced bison hunter is a strong person? Well, I don't think the women dragged the carcasses to the processing place, right? Could be wrong. They could just process them where they fall. But either they were brought to a processing area or they were cut up in big chunks and brought somewhere else. In many cases, so you're hauling big chunks of carcass or meat at least some distance when you're out hunting. Yeah, that builds up some strength. Okay, just my opinion. Modern knappers are developing their points like this, huh? They do the base first and leave the blade all wonky like this, right? Nope. Modern knappers don't develop their points in this way. What does that mean? It means they're not doing it the way they used to do it. They're so intent on doing it the way they used to do it, but the process that they're using is not the same as what they used in the past. They say, I want to use the natural tools. I want to use natural methods. I want to use primitive methods. I don't want to use this fancy indirect percussion stuff. I want to do strictly direct percussion and pressure. And they go about proceeding in a way that doesn't look like this. So you've only got half the equation. Right? Here's the other half. Start developing your points like this. This, I don't know, I think it was probably broken in manufacture and discarded. But develop the bass first, leave the blade all wonky, and I want to see some videos with you guys doing abo techniques. Do the bass and stem first, leaving the blade all wonky, and then refine the blade as the last step. How's that? Then I will say, yep, they are true to their word when they want to do it like they used to do it. Okay. Otherwise, they're just kind of blowing smoke. Okay. Yeah, I really need to take some time. Now this has got a super thin edge as well, but it's pickety. It's got a lot of little flakes. In comparison to the early triangulars, this has got a lot of little flakes to create a thin edge. The early triangulars have bold flaking. It's a different technique. But it's still awesome that they can get thin edges like this. But the technique that the early triangulars used is different. It looks like that's an excellent edge. I mean, that's really nice. That's amazing. Is it raw or heat treated? I'm not going to do the troll voice on these artifact videos because if I start being silly, I'm not going to be focused on the artifacts, and I might miss something. I mean, I'm probably missing a lot, but I would think I would be missing more if I was goofing around. All right, so obvious step fracturing. When you try to thin down a thin piece like this guy was probably doing, you're going to encounter that stuff. Not a big deal. To them, anyway. To us, that's sacrilege. No modern napper could ever live with that. He would hang his head low and walk off in shame and retreat into the valley of defeat. Right? I shall now dwell in the valley of defeat for the rest of my days. Back in the past, no big deal, man. Okay. Pot lid, heat pop. Ooh, lots of them. Okay, I think I've shown Marshalls before, right? Now, something like this feels raw to me. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be lots of raw pieces, but I think if it can be heat treated, it was heat treated, and if it could in any way improve, they were improved. Even if it's just a little bit of heat. And I'm going to get into how easy it is to put a little bit of heat into these things without burying them, without experimenting too much, without having to thin it down a lot in order to get the heating even. All right, I'm going to show you how easy it is to get a different consistency with a fire. Just a fire, nothing special. Okay, so I've been doing it, but I want to get used to it. I want to get used to it to the point where I can make a video and not screw up. But yeah, this is miserable stuff to nap in the raw state. And it looks kind of miserable here, but, you know, it's a reasonable attempt, of course. And it would be effective. But I think it did break in manufacture because the guy was saying, I need to hit this extremely hard to get it thin. And then, oops, Yeah. Oh well. I didn't like it anyway. Let's see. That material was terrible, right? That material was terrible. Ooh, nice. Nice symmetry. Nice material. I want to get this two-tone stuff. Like, there's a lot of it here in West Texas in collections. But to find the actual stone that's this two-tone tan and translucent, see how it's got some translucency and some not? Like, this is more opaque than this. Opaque means not see-through, right? Some of this is more see-through than other areas. I think that's cool. I want some of that stone. Just because I like the look of it. I don't know. It usually the stone that looks the best naps the worst. So I won't be looking forward to napping it as much as I would be just to have it in the collection. Edges are very thin on this too. But as you can see, a lot of effort into several flaking attempts, probably several passes to get it to be thin. It looks like there was a lot of effort put into making it thin, whereas with the early triangulars, this just looks effortless. Like they thinned it with not much effort. I don't know if it's the technique or the skill. Could be both, of course, but we'll see. Nice clean faces on this. Very nice. Almost would hate to chuck that when you're hunting at something or in warfare. Just throw it away. But that's what they use them for. These are for throwing in many cases, right? Of course, these are for throwing, not for putting it on the wall or hanging around your neck. Okay. Of course, some of these are knives, yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of these were knives. Okay. How do I know? What's the alternative? None of them were knives? No. Obviously, if you got something like this, you can throw this or you can use it as a knife. I mean, with such well-developed thin edges, I mean, it's a dual purpose for sure. All right, so it's a shame some of these. I can't really tell what's going on with them. This one, it looks like it was reworked. All right. Broken, probably not in manufacture, probably broken in use, but then they somehow took back this edge with a little bit of percussion or something. Yeah, you can still have this hafted and use it as a knife. This edge is very good. Yeah, very nice. I mean, a scraper even, but probably better for cutting. Oh, I'm skipping through these. I'm not really taking my time. I kind of zoomed in a little bit, but I'm kind of going through these quickly because my head's starting to spin. Too many types, too many time periods, too much to remember. I've read a lot of literature, but I haven't read it all. Which is kind of good in some ways because there'd be way too much to remember. I'd be yakking and yakking on each piece way too long. That's my excuse anyway. Okay. And if you want to see something, by all means, if you want to see something again or over and over or close up, just watch the time in the video, like this is 29:41 seconds, and say, dude, at 29 and 47 seconds, you had these two pieces. Go over them one more time again. I want to see blah, 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 blah. Don't be afraid to ask me to go over it again. That kind of thing. That'll help me out because then I'll know what you guys want to see. You want to see everything, everything, everything. Well, yeah, I do too, but that doesn't really help me narrow it down any. I don't know. These seem familiar to me. I don't know. Would I heat treat this kind of stuff? Oh, yes. Definitely. Even if it naps well in a raw state, I would still try to heat some of the flakes and see if it works. This stuff here is a mixed bag. Sometimes it works good raw. Most of the time it does work good raw, but sometimes it's terrible stuff. And then sometimes I feel like heat treating it, but I think the stuff I have heat treated of this, it got slick, but it got very crushy. Like if every time I tried to take a flake, it would crush. So it's a mixed bag with heat treat. It's not always good. Okay, this looks like it was one of those discarded. More refined biface. I think they were trying to thin it down, and I just stopped right around here somewhere. Not used as a tool, not used as a preform. It just kind of got discarded. No one's going to want to trade this for anything. Not even a couple of acorns, I don't think. All right, that's enough for this video. And I think that's it, all the time I have for tonight. Okay.